Welcome to the Midwest Happy Hour. We're your hosts, Lacey and Haley.
Join us for a drink and a chat with a new Midwest small town perspective on topics that will keep you learning, laughing, and growing.
So let's get into it. Cheers!
Hello and welcome to It's Gonna Be My Birthday Soon, and I hope I get whatever I want.
Yeah.
And what I want is world peace.
No, but I was thinking we should do it. Like
do
pull
world peace?
Pull
Yeah,
the
obviously.
trigger of like new equipment.
Oh, yeah. I also went back to like my notes that we took with Alex, the dude, and we wrote down like Andy. We wrote down like equipment.
Yeah. Yep.
Good ideas for equipment.
Yeah.
Including an iPad. No, just kidding. He didn't say that. He was like, okay, good job using an iPad, guys. It's 2005. Whatever. Cheers.
Cheers.
Coda. Oh my God.
Flint, come get your dog.
Yeah, Flint, come get Lacey's dog.
I oversalted my rim.
Oh my God. Mine's really, really salty over there too. Hey, have you seen us like this before? Then you must have watched a different episode. Because this is not the same one.
This one is actually coming out before the other one we just did.
Hello, you haven't seen us like this before, but you might later.
Next week,
Brought
it'll
to
be
you
the same. And no, we don't wear the same clothes when we record, but only on days we do double recordings.
We don't always wear clothes, but when we do, it's when we're recording.
Your hair's like looking rough. I'm looking rough.
That's why I don't wear my glasses, so I can't see mine. It works out better.
Hi. But this is our second recording tonight.
Hi, second recording. Would you like to talk
But
about
this
some
one
shit?
will actually come out the day that we did this.
Hello today, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone today.
Sorry this didn't come out yesterday. It's fine.
Sorry, and welcome to a scathing review of a place we've talked about before.
We have, and I said at the end of that episode that I think that, like, this is just the beginning.
Right.
Well, I'm curious to know, because Haley has been the one who's done all of, like, the reading of these articles, and I'm curious if we'll think more stuff will happen, but we can talk about that at the end.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean...
Or do you think is this the end?
If you go to Eastview, this is not the end. If you don't go to Eastview, this is all you're going to hear about. I don't think that Eastview will take, like, legal action against the bakers. But I'm not 100% sure. Try to find Mike Talks on YouTube.
Did he take it down?
Yeah, he did.
I knew
because it was a freak of a video.
Yes, that video. Oh my gosh, if you didn't watch it, I'm sorry about you.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it got taken down. That video was wild.
And I bet it got taken down when this report came out, which actually has the date on it, which I'm glad. 6/4/2023. So it's been a little over a month.
Yeah. But before we go in, so we're drinking non-alcoholic drinks today.
Yes.
I talk about this in the episode that will come out next Monday.
Are you next week?
But I'm taking a little hiatus from drinking, and I came and stumbled upon this sparkling water. It's just called Q. Yes. It's supposed to be better for you than other kinds of sparkling water. I found it at Benny's. They have different flavors. We got sparkling grapefruit because we're just kind of like replicating a spicy Paloma. So we just did the sparkling grapefruit, lime juice, and then we put some slices of jalapeno in there from my garden.
It's good, dude.
And it is so good. I'm not missing the alcohol at all. The jalapeno like gives it that like bite that you would kind of get from alcohol, and it is fantastic.
I'm gonna have a heartburn like a
I could like sip on this by the pool, doing whatever.
Jalapeno is for special occasions for me. I'm almost 30 and I have heartburn.
I mean, yeah, I don't like really dig spicy things.
Me neither anymore since I'm about to be old.
But I did, okay. So I also bought Rituals
Oh, yeah.
0 proof tequila because I want to try it. I think it'll be really good. I've heard and I've seen like reviews that it is really good. Because I just...
Do you think it's going to be
I want to do fun like drinks for the podcast. I am not one to like feel like I need an NA drink of any sorts. Who's pulling in?
Oh, is that a person? Oh, okay. Because I was like going to text Flint to come get Coda or whatever.
Someone used our driveway.
How dare they? Are you in the wrong place? Goodbye.
They saw us though, because our windows are open. Okay, but anyway, I am not the type of person, like if I'm not drinking alcohol, I don't feel like I need an NA beer or an NA wine or like a mocktail of any sorts, really. Like I'll just drink water or tea or something like that. Like I'm fine with that. But like for this podcast, this is going to push me out of my like comfort zone and get me to try like different mocktails.
Yes.
Because I've been not drinking for like a little over a week and it's been fantastic. I have like a lot of clarity, a lot of like peace, happiness. I feel like I'm a better mom, I'm a better wife, all of the things.
Are you live, laugh, loving, not drinking right now?
Yeah. Exactly.
Dude, I texted Flint. Please come get Coda.
Yes. But I say all that to say I got that 0 proof tequila because I want to just try it out.
Yeah, I want to try it out too. I wonder if it'll give you that like, whoa, like that fire when you take a shot.
They say the smell, like it smells like tequila.
Ugh, I don't know about NA alcohol, but whatever.
Me either.
It's like decaf coffee. Like, what's the point?
What is the point? I agree with that.
Yeah.
But if I am going to continue...
Hi, Coda. What do you want? I don't know what he wants from us.
I don't know.
Hop along.
But if I'm going to continue down this path of like not drinking or not drinking much or like...
Yeah.
Jeez.
Is that loud or what? Coda, there's nobody here. They went to the other house.
But like for this podcast, I still want to do like a fun drink. I don't want to just drink water.
Yeah,
or like
obviously.
Right. But if I don't want to drink,
then
I want to do something fun.
Of, hey, you can also have a happy hour without alcohol, too.
Exactly. You don't have to have alcohol to have a happy hour.
Hey, I didn't drink yesterday. Or today.
Good.
Yet. Just kidding. It'll be fine. Good boy, Coda. There's not anybody here. They must have got DoorDash across the street or whatever. It's a different person.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh my God. Someone get this dog out. Okay, pause.
I love you. Dog's out.
I did.
I saw this dude. Oh, also about TikTok. And you said stumble upon. Did you ever get on stumble upon?
No.
That's why I like TikTok so much, I think, because I love to stumble upon. If you know, you know. Mm-mm. And I saw a guy on TikTok make jokes about the Baja Men. It was good. Look it up. Anyways, you were saying not drinking is fun. Mm-hmm. And everyone should try it.
And so when we do the Midwest Happy Hour episodes, and I don't want to drink,
you ain't drinking.
I'm going to try some fun mocktails.
Yes.
Spice it up.
And I might put cocktails in my mocktails.
Yeah, and you can drink and I don't have to.
I'll secretly do it.
You don't have to secretly do it.
Don't listen.
No judgment here.
Earmuffs. I'll do it, and then you guys have to guess whenever I put alcohol in. Hint, my face will turn red. It does that sometimes anyways, but yeah. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today?
Eastview.
Christian church. Dun, dun, dun. Mm-hmm. Do you go to... Hey, I would like to know. Get Botox, idiot.
Yeah, just go get it.
I would like to know if you would like to email us if you were like, I'm not going to Eastview anymore because of curious. Stuff.
And I wonder how much their attendance has dropped.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because all of this seems very hush hush, but also way out in the open. I mean, I went to a news article about this. And I just clicked on the link, and it literally says, investigation report prepared for Eastview Christian Church's elder leadership team, confidential.
June 4th, 2023.
Yep, and they just released it. So I'm assuming Eastview released it because, like,
why is it confidential?
yeah, I don't think that the law firm can just, like, release this because attorney-client privilege. Eastview leadership team or board of Eastview Christian Church. I think I talked shit about them last time. Like, the elders, it's all just, like, older white men. Ew. But they're, so, like, the purposes, I love this, how they, like, set it out so proper, just like a law firm should do.
Yeah.
The purposes of the investigation was to conduct an investigation into allegations made against former employee Caleb Baker and against former senior pastor Mike Baker and against the church's leadership as it relates to the handling of such allegations. The allegations. I just love it because they're like, we're looking at everybody up in here. Mm-hmm. Like, basically, this report goes into, and the second one is to issue a written investigation report, which is this, and then to aid in bringing about healing in the church through a reconciliation and restorative justice process. That's good. Good job.
Like, what does that mean exactly?
It means not only are they going to investigate this problem, but they're also going to, like, give them,
like, repercussions?
No, not repercussions, but, like, here's how you can fix this. Here's how we think that you can, like, reassess your situation and, like, reconcile with your congregation. And, you know, I don't know if they, like, can you, like, punish people? Like, I don't, you know, obviously they're punished. They're gone. Goodbye, Bakers. Like, you're no longer part of the church shit anymore, obviously. Yeah. So, yeah, it's just, but it also says right here in the beginning, this investigative report has been provided solely to the church's board for their review and further usage, subject to further advice and counsel from the church's legal counsel. So to me, that reads like they intended to release it. Why is Coda unhappy with us?
I don't know.
What do you want?
Can I text Flint?
Yeah, I texted him already. Flint, will you come get Coda, please? Sir. He's crying outdoors. Flint, are you asleep already?
Just said, give him some deer meat. I don't know.
Oh my god. Anyways, back to our investigative report. It says information about the law firm, which is, like, interesting because it's not just a law firm. They also, like, whatever they partnered and associated, whatever, partners and associates with Kelly Fabian Story, and she's all about, like, church stuff, like caring for victims, reconciling relationships, rebuilding trust, etc. They've used their best efforts to accomplish the following: represent and reflect Christ in all of our interactions, act objectively and impartially, and prioritize the safety and care of any victims at all stages of the investigation. So very interesting, because they're not here to be like the judge and jury. They're just like, all right, we're like, this is a church, so their actions and reactions and everything should represent Christ, and we'll let you know if you did that or not.
Yeah.
As well as, like, obviously, objectively and impartially. Well, yeah, hopefully none of those people went to Eastview or whatever. Mm-hmm. Prioritize the safety of the victims and care of the victims. Good for you guys. Thank you for doing that. Sleeping, who knows? It's late. It's like 9:30. What are you going to do? Go get him? What's he going to do?
There's just no way that he's sleeping.
Well, he ain't texting me, so... Excuse me.
Why would you do that? Now I have to go in and edit that.
You have to edit the whole thing anyways. You just had to get up 10 times to go get Coda. You just have to edit that little part right there. Oh my god. Anyway. So this report is 11 pages long. I just, like, highlighted pieces, but, like, 10 out of 10 would recommend going to the article and, like, finding this report and reading it, because it's, like, pretty crazy. And it's fairly easy to read. Like, I don't really understand legal jargon, whatever.
Yeah.
And this report came out in June, and so beginning in March 2023, they investigated the following 3 issues: the alleged sexual misconduct of former Eastview pastor Caleb Baker while he was on staff, the alleged cover-up of Caleb Baker's alleged misconduct, and the impact of power dynamics upon upon staff and congregation for Mike Baker's and Eastview's upper level leadership. Like, it's just, it goes all the way to the top. Like, I'm telling you, like, that is, I feel like that's what I said last time was like, everybody can't be ignorant to all this stuff of what's going on. But, I mean, in this report, I feel like pretty much that's what it is. Like, what happened was Mike just, like, made everything all his deal. And he didn't tell anybody on this side, and he didn't tell anybody on that side. So, like, staff and everybody was coming to Mike, and Mike was not telling the Eastview leadership team or, like, the elders. He was just, like, keeping all that information, which is, like, not great. But the law firm additionally was asked to assess Eastview's policies and make recommendations to provide guidance on improvements moving forward. Good job. Next page. Okay. They asked Caleb Baker for a statement. He says, I realized I wasn't as healthy of a person as I could have or should have been during the 3.5 years that I worked at Eastview, and I take full responsibility for that. That being said, I genuinely hope for the best for the future of Eastview, and I am committed to pursuing health in all aspects of my life moving forward.
Okay, first of all, I doubt your behavior. It died.
You didn't even look.
Okay.
You didn't even pretend like you knew what was going on.
Okay. But so,
died so
what's
quickly.
funny, like, I mean, it's not funny, but I doubt he was a great human prior to the 3.5 years that he worked at Eastview and went to Arizona.
Yeah, you're dumb. You cheated and you, like, slept around and, like, kept it from everybody, and your dad was complicit. And basically, this is the report on it, and you are both wieners. Little weens. I bet they have little wieners.
Little poo-poo heads.
Yeah, that's probably what's wrong. So this law firm basically was not like, they're not like, we're not the judge and jury, like, we can't tell you exactly this happened or exactly this didn't happen. So they use basically the phrase like, it is more likely than not.
Yeah.
Or it is not more likely, whatever. Like, that's what they use. So this is what they found. These are their conclusions after their interviews. I mean, church documents. Like, they read into, like, the policies and everything for, like, staff, like the staffing manuals, etc. Interviewed a bunch of people. I mean, they investigated for 3 months.
Yeah.
So they said, it is more likely than not that Mike Baker misused his leadership position and impeded the church leadership's ability to follow the church's policies and procedures for addressing various complaints and reports of misconduct that were made approximately between 2013 and 2023. So for 10 years, it is more likely than not that Mike Baker was being a douchebag, just like my mom said the whole time.
How wild.
It is more likely than not that during Mike Baker's tenure as senior pastor, the culture at Eastview degraded to the point that just before Mike Baker's resignation, decisions at varying levels within Eastview were largely driven by one or more of the following factors: fear of retribution and failure, a superseding desire to protect the image of Eastview, like blah, blah, blah. Basically, they go in to be like, nobody was coming forward because they were scared of, like, what was going to happen.
Repercussions, yeah.
If they told Mike, like, this is going to get me fired, or, which leads me back to Cheryl, my mom's friend, that got fired for getting divorced because, why? Her husband was probably like,
wild.
You're fired. And Cheryl was like, no. And he went, yeah, because I can do that. But I love this. So, at the end of this, like, section here, actually in all of this, in all of, like, their findings, pretty much they go into, like, all such factors adversely affected the ELT's ability to govern the church, and they are contrary to the church's biblical standards, such as Galatians 5:22-26 and Matthew 5:1-14. Like, they even go, this is what you did against the Bible, you idiots. Like, you guys are dumb.
How wild. It's like,
yeah, I don't even know. Like,
you are supposed to like, you are held to such a high standard in Mike Baker's position to, like, uphold the Bible and, like, do what the Bible says.
Mm-hmm.
And look at what you did
Mm-hmm.
for the
And they
last
got
10
you.
years.
Dead to rights,
Remember
buddy.
when he was like, there's no need to do an investigation in the past.
Yeah, and what did he say? It was like
The
crazy
best.
in that video. He was like,
We'll come to... Oh, God.
shit will come to light or whatever. Yeah, but he also said like, I kept my hands clean of it, and then he was like, well, I don't even know why they need to do an investigation. Nothing happened.
Right.
Well, did you keep your hands clean or did nothing happen? You don't know. Like, obviously,
Right.
if you don't know.
Remember the part where he was saying how, and he referred back to the Bible of, like, when people were starting to come out and say something, and he hadn't said, like, the truth.
Yes.
The truth.
My truth. Yes.
Right. Said, until the other person, the other side, comes forward and says the truth.
Right.
It was like,
Yeah.
okay, so you're basically saying that.
You quoted the Bible? Well, so did the law firm, buddy. Like, good luck with that. It is more likely than not that Caleb Baker engaged in conduct inconsistent with the church's sincerely held religious beliefs and the church's requirement for church employees in the form of sexual relationships outside the context of marriage during his time on staff at Eastview. You home wrecker. You freaking wiener. I don't care about the women. Good for you guys getting laid. But this man that was married, you're a dirtbag.
Wait, was he married?
Dude, it says sexual relationships outside the context of marriage during his time. Honestly, either he was married or they were married.
Yeah.
Either way, not good. Also, such behavior was contrary to the biblical admonition followed by the church, such as Hebrews 13:4, 1 Corinthians 6:9, Exodus 20:14, Proverbs 6:32.
They pulled it all out.
Dude, literally. It is more likely than not that the former senior pastor, Mike Baker and Caleb Baker, failed to disclose to staff and elders of Eastview that they knew of Caleb Baker's sexual conduct, blah, 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 and the reasons for the termination of his employment. Mike Baker and Caleb Baker failed to disclose to Caleb Baker's subsequent employer important information about Caleb Baker's sexual conduct and the reasons for termination of his employment, which was when he went out to Arizona. You guys failed to tell them. Mm-hmm. Such reflected in Philippines 2:3-4. And contrary to the church's standards for ethical treatment of others and appropriate concern for others as per church's policy manual. They read it all. They read the Bible. They read the church policy manual. You did bad in all parts. You idiots. And Eastview leadership team, they did not sufficiently address the serious conflict of interest issues involved here at certain crucial times, such as allowing Mike Baker initially to lead the HR audit efforts. Like the first time that Caleb got in trouble, they were like, hey, Mike, go ahead and take care of it. Instead of being like, hey, it's your son. You might be a little bit biased.
Right. I feel like that's weird. And that's why, like, I have a hard time, like, I think the elders need replaced.
Yeah, you're dumb. You guys were complicit, in my opinion.
In my opinion as well. I feel like, how do you not know?
You know. They knew. I mean, maybe they went earmuffs, and they didn't want to know that he was, like, having, like, sexual relationships or whatever.
Right, but that's kind of what Mike Baker said in his video as well, that Mike was like, I don't want to know.
Yes, exactly. But at the same time, he was like, we're innocent. Mm-hmm. It's like, because you're not innocent.
But that's still, like, your job is to protect the church.
Yeah, it says, like, reportedly, Mike Baker kept material information from the Eastview leadership team, which thwarted the Eastview leadership team from effectively addressing the sexual misconduct and related matters. So he probably was like, don't worry, guys, I got it handled. And he just sprinkled in there. He told them whatever he thought they needed to know.
Yeah.
But it pisses me off that Christine Lee, I read that, basically that entire letter in that other podcast that we did. She wrote a letter and was like, dude, like, he's a bad guy. And they just proceeded to go, nah, I don't want to know, or whatever, you know, like, you guys suck. You guys suck. Pay attention. Like, pay attention. I don't know. Yeah. You're a church. Pay attention to your parishioners.
And that's, like, my biggest frustration with this. It's like, really, if this wasn't like for a church of like if someone was like just going around having sex, like whatever, I don't give two F's.
If you work at a bar, nobody cares.
Don't care. However, like this is what is wrong with like religions. Like like crazy shit goes on.
It's more cultish,
and it like just doesn't reflect on what God would actually want to happen and like what would actually be going on.
He's manipulating what he did in that video. Like, don't manipulate words of the Bible to fit your like agenda.
Yeah, like what a narcissist.
But I think that's what all pastors do. Anyways, that's my problem.
Well, yeah, because they interpret it how they want it to be. You know what I mean?
Pisses me off. It's the same way I feel about, what do you call those people? News anchors?
Reporters?
Yeah, reporters and stuff. Like, I don't want your opinion.
No, I want you to say facts. But that's what it is. All news channels.
Well, that's how I feel about churches.
Yeah.
I don't want your opinion. I want you to tell me what's going on for real. But they don't know. They're just making it up. The whole book.
I watched this video, and it was like, I'm going to botch it, but it had something to do with, like, witches call it spells, Christians call it, like...
something, and then Catholics
Jesus,
call it...
like, yeah, like...
dude, I saw that
atheists call like, if there's a name for whatever this is...
Magic.
In every single, like, religion or every single, like...
It's all just like magic. It's fake. It's made up. It's not real. Like,
well,
I can say God is real just as I can say, easily as I can say God is not real, because there's no proof for either. Silence.
Right. I'm not saying no. However, like, you can't, like, I can't deny, like, myself, like, full-heartedly, I believe... I don't know if the proper word is God, but God, like some...
But you can't prove to me that he's real just as much as I can't prove to you that he's not real.
Right. Just like when we die, I don't know where we go.
Right. So people just make shit up, and then they say it, just like this podcast.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I just have a hard time believing the Bible, because it's like, who was writing it? How do we, like, agree that God was talking to them? That, yes... we were hanging out with Jesus.
A lot of people
are
like,
how
mushrooms.
do we believe Jesus?
That guy was a carpenter. I don't believe any carpenters. I've met a bunch. I'm telling you what.
No. I question a lot of things in terms of that, which I think is healthy.
It's good to question things. Yeah. Yes, I think that's very healthy. That's why it's important to put your kids in school. Shut the fuck up. We're not going to talk about it. Anyways... Mike Baker's actions implicated serious conflict of interest violations, writing from his pastoral leadership and his parental roles. You freaking wiener, Mike. You weren't even a good dad, according to these guys. No, just kidding. But you did do shit that you shouldn't have done. He, like it says right here, Mike Baker should have recused himself due to his conflicting loyalties and allowed others in leadership to exercise proper biblical discipline regarding Caleb. Instead, he remained significantly involved. Similarly, Mike Baker's statements and conduct after his resignation further demonstrate Mike Baker's prioritization of concern for his son and his family as a direct outworking of the above described serious conflict of interest.
So you start with the video.
Yes, like, you're an idiot. You should have had a PR person that was like,
God,
don't do that.
That video was the worst video.
Oh, dude. It's side note to the worst video. Have you been in the Miranda Sings drama stuff right now? Colleen Baker, or not Baker, shit, I can't remember her last name now. But Miranda Sings was like this huge thing. She was like a YouTuber, and then she was on like Disney or whatever. But it's a whole entire thing. She's in big trouble right now, and she made a video with a ukulele where she's singing "The Toxic Gossip Train," and she's like, my PR people told me not to talk about it, but they never told me not to sing. She's playing a ukulele. That, when I watched that video, I was like, that's Mike Baker being like, I know I shouldn't do this right now, but I'm such a narcissist, I've got to get it out of me.
I know. And a part of me thinks that he thought that he would, he convinced the elders that they didn't need to do a long-term, and like
he used his leadership role to manipulate. And
so he put that video out thinking that there wasn't going to be an investigation, that he thought people were just going to trust him blindly, which I'm sure a lot of people did.
He was like, what's with all this third-party stuff? I thought we figured it out. Are you afraid an actual law firm is going to look you up?
I just, like, in that last episode, I'm like, dude, you got to take that down.
He turned off the comments immediately. I bet there was like 5,000 like right away, and he was like, delete, exit, turn off these comments. What is that?
Yeah, like,
does he even know what YouTube is?
I just don't get it. Like, why just don't be a piece of shit. Like, just be like, a good person.
I think there's more information that we don't really know about, because like right here it says the ELT leadership team should have conducted a more comprehensive investigation of all the allegations in the letters they received in February 2016 without involvement by Mike Baker. Well, Christine Lee didn't write her letter till July 2022. So they knew about the shit in 2016, which I think, I don't know, I might have talked about that in the previous podcast, because I know there was another letter besides what Christine Lee wrote, but I thought it was just like Facebook drama. I'm not really sure.
Well, obviously a lot of stuff was going on in 2016.
Yeah, how did they get a letter in 2016 and you guys still were like Mike just like, he was like, give me that letter, and went like shoved it in a desk and put a lock on it, like a freaking movie or whatever. They're like, for sure he should have told Cal Jernigan, you're guilty as shit for not telling that guy out in Arizona what was going on. Both Mike and Caleb, you're both pieces. Yeah. Mike Baker should not have been involved in any way with the hiring or discipline of Caleb. Yeah, because it's a conflict of interest. Because you're a father-son. Even if you're working together, like, at a grocery store. Even if you're your son's boss.
If I get reports that my son is repeatedly hitting on other employees, I'm not going to send him somewhere else. So then be like, and they feel uncomfortable, or they want it to stop.
What do you say? Like, Caleb got this amazing opportunity to go to Arizona. Like, did he, or were you like, hey, buddy, I heard you were sleeping around a little bit. Better freaking get out of town.
Right.
Literally. Crazy. Need another sip. I don't know. I don't think there's too much more.
I have a hard time, like, thinking in my head, like, man, are they really that bad of people just for, like, sleeping around and doing whatever? But it's the untruthfulness and the fact that
it's lying, and you shouldn't lie. That's the ultimate
and people
sin.
were, like, asking for, like, help.
And
like,
they were like
the other brother's ex-wife, the one that was posting all that stuff on Facebook, like, she asked for help and they didn't help. Like, so again, it's like, I keep reminding myself, it's not that those specific sexual acts, because I think that's what's prominent.
Right, that's what blew it up.
However, it's everything else.
Then it made everybody realize that they are toxic to the church. Like, they're doing bad shit. I think that's kind of what, like, the rest goes into, like, the senior pastor's main responsibilities, it defined in Eastview's policy manual, developing a strategic plan to achieve the ELT's vision, defining personnel, policy, and procedures, effectively communicating between elders, staff, and the church family, cultivating an informed and responsive staff, and resolving staff conflicts. But not when it's your kids sleeping around.
Nope. You keep that.
Does not count.
Nope.
You cannot be keeping, and you didn't do the policy. You did the opposite of what you're supposed to be doing. The senior pastor acts as a sole link between the elders and the staff. One individual we interviewed described this model to us like a bow tie. The senior pastor acts as the center, and then the elders and the staff are on the other. This model intentionally makes the senior pastor the only point of contact with the elders.
Yeah.
Which Mike was like, hell yeah.
My other question is, so is Mike's only problem tied to Caleb? Is Caleb the one who really created all of the issues for him? And so he, as a father, felt like he was doing what was best for his son?
Just trying to hide everything.
Or was Mike Baker doing other stuff that he should not have been doing as senior pastor?
Well, the stuff that he shouldn't have been doing as senior pastor was keeping all of the shit away.
That, but it's all, like, the
connected. If his son wasn't a piece of shit, and slept around with church people, would he have, like, let's say it was a random staffer, like a random person on staff that was a pastor that got caught in extramarital affairs, would he have been like, oh, hey, here you go, Eastview leadership team and the elders, like, this is what's going on? Who knows? But that he didn't. He didn't do it because it was his own
other
kid.
stuff. But
nepotism, baby.
My thing is just thinking about, like, again, like, if I was in his shoes, what would I do if that was my son? Like, are Mike's
Ship him off to Arizona.
Are Mike's only issues tied to his son, or was he already, like,
according to my mom, not good?
Right.
And we
right.
can say
so that's
that.
what I want to know. I want to know some more info, more details specifically on Mike, not tied to Caleb, because he's just trying to be the best father that he could be to his son. I mean, he couldn't keep it in his pants.
Would you cover up for your kid?
Dude, I don't know. I don't want to be put in that position.
You probably would. You probably
Honestly,
give me the knife,
probably,
hurry up, and then you would cover it up and you would put it away.
I would say it was me.
I'll take the hit, son. I'm old. I don't care about going to jail now.
No, I don't know. That's tough because, like, as a parent, you want to protect your kid no matter what the age is.
Right. But if they're bad,
then maybe don't stick them in situations where they're going to fail.
Yeah. It also says at Eastview there were years in which the department heads would provide regular reports to the elders. Over time, that process stopped. So it wasn't just, in the beginning, it wasn't just him as the center of the bow tie. Like, other people had, reports with the elders and stuff. But Mike was like, you guys don't have to do that anymore. Just give everything to me. You freaking idiot. The senior pastor acted as the gatekeeper of information and could add, remove, or modify the information as he saw fit.
No.
I wonder if he changed that policy. Like, he can probably do that. He probably made it seem like, I don't want you guys worrying about all this stuff. So, like, why don't you just give me a report on what's going on, and then I'll tell the elders. That way, it's not, like, a waste of your time. Yeah. And then he was trying to, like, scratch that, and let's stop the eye over here, and, like,
yikes.
Who knows? The policies and the reporting process, basically they are, like, Eastview dropped the ball on this shit anyways. It appears the church provided no training on the proper handling of conflicts of interest. So, like, you become a staffer on Eastview and you're just like, they're not like, here's this manual that you should read on if something happens to you, then this is how you, like, go about that situation. The individuals with whom we spoke to were not confident about what steps to take to get help, and in some cases did not get the help that they needed. This is despite the fact that at least as far back as 2012, the staff personnel manual included at least a skeletal policy on sexual harassment and a whistleblower provision, which is like, if you tell on someone, you're good.
Yeah.
Like, it said it in the policy, like, we're not going to, like, fire you. In large part, we found that Eastview staff members needed clarity about what to do if they are harassed, assaulted, or otherwise harmed, and particularly had to report such information. Way to go. In other situations, Eastview had no policy or procedure in place. When the complaints came in about Caleb, there didn't seem to be any process for the leadership team. They were just like, I mean, whatever, maybe we should just let Mike handle this. Like, I think that's what happened, is probably it never happened before, first of all. Second of all, they never were like, man, we should probably do something just in case one of these guys starts meddling around where he's not supposed to. They never, you should plan that out. You're a huge freaking business.
Yeah.
Do you think that shit like that's not going to happen and people aren't going to come to you with, like, problems and stuff and have complaints?
Right.
Fix your shit, Eastview, you old whites on your elder team. God. There's enough of you to go around, so, like, talk to your parishioners and your staffers and be like, how are you doing? Like, literally. Is anybody hitting on you or being weird? God, it's not that hard. And if those people go, yeah, don't go, well, don't worry about it. You freaking old white men, I swear to God. Old white men are like old, crusty white dogs. Why are they here? I'm just kidding. But you know those old crusty white dogs, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I think every time. Like, anyways, because Mike Baker was a single source of information to the board's ability to act in the church's interest became impaired. particularly when Mike's ability to objectively convey information to the board became impaired because of his conflict of interest. Mm-hmm. You see where this is all working out perfectly in Mike Baker's favor? Because the church didn't know what to do with him anyways. Mm-hmm. And so he was like, even if I give them this information, they're not going to do anything. So he went, I'll just make a YouTube video and I'll be good. Freaking idiot. The ELT didn't have information needed to guide Mike Baker through the handling of the conflict, obviously, because if Mike didn't tell them, how are they supposed to know? To be like, this is what you should do. It's all bad. Bad. By the time they learned the information they could have acted on, it was too late. They didn't know about his sexual relationships until after his employment was terminated. So can you just imagine that you're like on the Eastview leadership team, or you're one of the elders, and Caleb's already in Arizona, and then someone comes to you and they go, oh yeah, by the way, there's this letter that Christine Lee wrote and was like, hey, Caleb did a bunch of stuff, and they're like, do you think we should call the guy in Arizona and be like, let him know? By the way. Which the answer is yes. Yes, you should have.
Yeah.
And it's dumb that you didn't. And you let him go diddle people over in Arizona, and they had to F around and find out.
Yep.
Most of the individuals we interviewed had been around Eastview for more than a decade, noticed a shift in the culture sometime between 2013 and 2015. Which 2016 was like one of the first letters, obviously.
Wait, there was a shift?
Yeah, most of the people that worked there for decades noticed a shift in the culture. Prior to that time, most agreed that the culture was positive, less fear-based, and more collaborative and family-like. So they're saying when they
when Mike Baker took over.
And when he hired Caleb, specifically in 2013, I believe. Because Mike took over in like 2009, 2010. I don't know. I think I said it in the other podcast. But then he hired Caleb, and after Caleb Baker's employment with Eastview began, fear of reprimand and fear of retribution apparently increased as motivating factors. Such change in culture coincided with adverse employment decisions related to the challenges of Mike Baker handling conduct that Caleb did. Basically, they were like, they knew that there was flamery going on and that Caleb was doodling around doing stuff. And instead of, like, I bet people came to Mike and they were like, hey, I saw your son touching a boob near the pew or whatever. And he was like, what?
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, get that out of your head. And they were like, okay. And then everybody's walking around like, did you see him touching the boob by the pew? And they're like, I saw that. And I also saw him seeing a
Mike was
thigh.
probably like, talk about it again, and you get...
Yeah, and so then everything becomes weird.
Yeah. Because
everybody knows that somebody is lying, which is Mike and Caleb. And then now everybody's like, well, this is weird. So, blah, blah, blah. Implications of the power dynamics within Eastview's culture. So, like, that's when they said they noticed the shift. There's fear of reprimand and fear of retribution. People felt like they needed to keep quiet, that they needed to protect the church. They felt that Mike Baker and Caleb Baker were above the rules, and they felt like they were exempt. And everybody was basically like, bad vibes.
Right.
And so I wonder how it's going to... Maybe it will turn around and more people will join because they'll be like, well, now that Mike's out, I'm going to come back.
Yeah.
I thought about that.
That could definitely be the case.
Yeah. And they give them recommendations for the next steps. Basically, it's like leadership.
Replace the elders.
Tell them what sexual misconduct is and how you deal with it. Make available protocols, write policies, provide training, provide teaching, address treatment. Like, one of the greatest promises in Scripture appears in Revelation 21:5. That's how they end this, We're told that the Apostle John sees Jesus on the throne, that he says, behold, I am making all things new. So I wonder if they're like, hey, you guys should probably revamp.
Yeah.
Like, that's basically, this is like their...
Make it new.
Yeah, it's important. As important this investigation has been to understand the truth, there is more needed, and we are committed to taking the next steps with Eastview. Like...
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, cute. Pretty much it. There's we're honored and privileged to have conducted this investigation and continue working with the Eastview elders, staff, congregation, blah, blah, blah. And they have the greatest care and compassion. Yeah. The W&O law firm. Let me shout them out.
I will say one thing about, religion, Christianity and,
Wagon Maker
Catholicism and all of that stuff is that, it really does do, I like being a part of that, because even though I don't necessarily agree with like what's in the Bible 100%, I think there are some good nuggets in there for sure. But I don't trust the people. I don't trust that
people have your best interests in mind.
Well, I don't trust that the people who wrote these.
Oh, yeah, that they were like not on mushrooms.
No, I feel like if they were, it would have been a little bit more enlightened.
The burning bush,
Yeah,
like DMT.
Right.
I got that jalapeno.
But like how they like pick and choose like who's got in the Bible and just like the prophets, like I have a hard time like wrapping my head around that, and how they created this Bible that's full of like how you should be as a person and just all of the stuff that where like that's the only hiccup I have. I like going to church. I like
being in a group,
and I feel like like as humans we desire to be part of a community,
right? And
religion is like a
community.
Is a huge community.
Like-minded people. Yeah. They're all doing the same thing every Sunday.
And I think for like the most part, I think church does a good job of like just teaching you how to be a good person. Like give you like a baseline of like, okay, I need to give more than I receive. I need to be a kind neighbor. You need to
obey your husband, and he is the head of household, and he makes all decisions.
Here's your husband. He's the top umbrella.
Oh my God! Turn it off. Stop this.
And
Stop it. Oh my God, I can't. Isn't that was the BLT or that's bacon lettuce tomato? It's the BP. No, it's the IBLP.
IBLT.
Instinct basic.
The homeschooling program
like that basic life principles. IBLP.
A cult,
Institute of Basic Life Principles. I don't know, but it was the Duggar documentary. If you haven't watched that,
which isn't like really about the Duggars. It's about the Jill's in it, but it was mostly about this cult, which is
and that guy George Foreman or whatever his name was.
Wild.
It wasn't George Foreman. I'm sorry, George Foreman, if you're listening. I didn't mean you.
No, I'm not going to be like submissing.
I don't like it when people tell me what to do.
Flint's not going to reprimand me for not listening to him.
Should have. And just like whip you with the dish towel that you didn't fold.
Yeah. How dare you?
Get in the basement.
No, that probably happened. That's so sad.
Dude, it still happens for sure. It's
people, just be good people. If you're in an abusive relationship, please get out of it ASAP.
Get out.
If you need help,
call somebody.
Yeah, there's a helpline.
Is Flynn watching some trash TV because I heard a bleep? Oh, okay. Who's excited for Jersey Shore family vacation? Sammy's back.
I need to get TV back. Or is it on?
It's on Paramount Plus.
I think I have Paramount Plus.
Get it.
Do they come out like the day that it gets released? Or is it the next day?
I don't know. I'm watching the old season before the new season comes out.
Yeah, I probably need to do that.
I think it comes out like the day after or something. Yeah. It'll be good. Tell us what TV shows you guys are watching.
Yeah, my top ones are 90 Day Fiancé, 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way, Love Island right now, season 3. We started with season 3. But I have to finish it. Like, I have to.
Oh, we watched Too Hot to Handle. I think that's the one where they can't kiss and stuff. Or they, like, lose money and everybody gets all pissed off at each other. It's good. That's good to have trash TV recommendations at the end of this heavy hitter.
Yes. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I wonder where is Mike Baker now? Are you watching 90 Day Fiancé, Mike Baker? Why don't you respond to us in a YouTube video?
That would be fantastic.
Stitch this on TikTok.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic. I would die. I would be like, you want to be on our podcast? And I would be like, I'll be very nice, sir. I will not say anything you don't want me to say. And then immediately I'll go, are you sleeping around as much as your son is?
Oh my God, what if that comes to light?
Oh, well.
I hope not.
Well, it seems like his wife is not a very nice lady if her daughter-in-law was crying to her about how her son was beating the piss out of her and was threatening to kill the dogs and stuff. And
Yeah,
she was
that's
like,
weird.
calm down, sweetie. We don't
divorce
believe
them.
in divorce. Yeah, you're a piece too. You're
If
added
that's
to my
true,
list.
yeah, if that's true.
I believe all women.
I don't.
Okay.
I do, but I don't.
Yeah, I believe all children.
Children?
Believe your children, people. Whatever they tell you, just believe them.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, this is like
Side.
really off topic, but I think I told you about, I was watching this video about this guy who had a sit down conversation with his kids because he watched a video of a sex predator that was in a prison for like 10 years or 12 years, and he came out and he willingly did an interview and talked about how he
molested kids and stuff.
like how he
ruined them.
preyed on them and like what he did. And that video is like a good video for parents to watch to then tell their kids, and also to like learn yourself, like
what are the predators doing?
Like a lot of his thing was he like, so say like a new family moved into the town, he'd like go meet them and say like, hey, if you guys ever need a babysitter, if you need any help with anything, like I'm more than happy to help out, like whatever you guys need. He would target a family that doesn't have a strong father figure, so like if he's kind of like willy-nilly or not in the picture,
I'm gripping the microphone.
Or like he would stay away from religious families. I don't know why. Like if
they're already getting,
they were very religious.
they're already getting diddled by the.
Stop it.
He's like, this one's probably already compromised.
But then like he goes into more detail, which I can't remember off the top of my head, but like about like how he and like he'd pick kids that were quiet.
So they wouldn't tell on anybody?
Yeah.
That's why I never got picked, because everybody knew I was going to be a tattletale. I was like, I will tell everyone, your phone's low battery. Does that mean it stopped?
No, I see it's still recording.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I knew I was going to be a tattletale, and so did the diddlers. Or even if they just like, people, guys, older men, would just like, I don't know, if they would like look at me or whatever, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to tell on you. Like, don't do anything to me. I'll freaking tell. And then what are you going to do? You're going to get told on, and somebody's going to believe me because I'll tell everyone, including the other kids, you freaking grabber. Freaking weirdos. There's a couple lurking around in Colfax.
Yeah.
And probably Bloomington. Normal.
Yeah.
But there's a bunch around here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I took the boys to the park over here that is completely fenced in.
Yeah, you told me about that.
And I got there and there's this man with his like daughter, and he's like, hey, like, girl, we gotta go. We have got to go. And she's like wanting to go down the slide like 5,000 times, and my boys were like standing by her. And then I grab my phone to text Flint real quick, and then I look up and I don't see Graham.
Oh my god.
But I see the guy in his car leaving, and
You immediately thought your child was stolen.
Panicking.
Oh my god. And Graham's just like, I'm right here, Mom.
And I was like, literally, my heart was pounding 1,000,000 seconds an hour.
Yeah.
A second, not an hour.
20 miles a second.
And I was like, he brought that little girl here as a ploy
To steal other kids. He was
steal
like, come
other
with
kids.
us.
And then Graham like pops up behind the chair. Hi, Mom. I'm like, I'm
my
gonna murder you,
And we're gonna leave
I'm
now.
not. But
You had a moment.
I had a moment of panic, and literally all I did was look down at my phone to text
For
Flint
1
something
second. They disappear
so
immediately.
quick. And also, Graham wouldn't go quietly. I would have hear it.
I don't know.
I would have heard him.
Yeah, I suppose. Unless he was doing
If
that
he was
silent
like
cry.
taking him away,
But if he was doing like that silent crying thing,
I think he
and he
would
wasn't
scream.
like squealing. Well, if he had a blankie or some candy or strawberries, if they just say berries to your kids, you're screwed. You'll be like, you have, instead of like, hey, if anybody tells you they have puppies, you're going to be like, hey, if anybody tells you they have berries.
Yeah.
Not it.
But I did read, or I saw another video where this parent, when they go out in public, or like they're going to a big zoo, or they're doing something like that, they put an air tag somewhere on their kid. So like just in case,
Yeah.
like they
I
run
also-
away or like you
Right,
get lost
stolen or whatever.
or
You can
whatever.
find 'em.
And there's also like a watch you can buy on Amazon and put the air tag in the watch, and then they just have it on them, which I
Nice.
think is a fantastic idea. If you're going to a zoo,
Yeah, a lot of children like they're everywhere.
they're everywhere.
Also, I saw a thing. If you dress your kids the same exact outfit, so then you can be like, red shirt, blue shorts, looks just like this one.
Yeah.
And then you can find, unless you're like, they're both wearing red shirts and blue
Right.
shorts and they look like me.
Right.
Yeah. People, keep your kids safe. Do you remember those
I know,
commercials?
and I hate the comments of like on videos like that, like just trying to help parents out. Like, here are some tips, but here's what you can do.
People are like-
and like I felt so guilty, like looking at my phone for
2 seconds.
I don't know,
Yeah.
10 seconds to text Flint, and then
Your
like
baby's
panicking.
Was that
But,
text
like-
worth it?
But it's like, okay, people, like give parents a break. Like it's not like we're not watching our kids or not playing with them or not paying. It's like
It's a split
like
second.
and things happen. Like it's not like you're a bad parent. I
Bubba
hate
ran
Who
away
cares?
from
Take
me.
the safety measures.
Yeah, dude, Graham literally, as fast as a 2-year-old can sprint, he sprinted away from me and pushed people out of his way to get further away from me to go into a building. And then when I come through the door, he turns at me and he goes, huh? And I'm like, you little, get over here. I was like, you want some blueberries? Get in the stroller. I was just like, I didn't know. But the funniest part was when he was running by. Like, one lady, like, looked at him run by, and then she looked at me and she goes, mine does that too. I'll get him, but I have a double stroller that I'm trying to push right now
Right.
through a crowd of people where there's a little tiny child just running through people's legs, fucking spitting them like as he goes.
Lord.
They're still alive for now. You
Yeah.
got only a couple more years to go. Then who cares?
Okay.
Just kidding. They might kill someone. You might have to help them. Cheers. Love you.
Cheers. Love you. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.
This is so long.
Peace out.